Okay, so the weather outside is frightful. So frightful that I can't go outside to film with my equipment. I don't have equipment that is resistant against snow or rain and that kind of stuff. And it has been raining for so long that I have to make this inside. On another note, with the series, it's already 1 year old, and in the same time I reached 100 subscribers, I reached over 100 hours of watching hours, and I'm really delighted that everyone likes it so much. If you have any questions or ideas for further subjects, or you want to know how something is spelled, I get a lot of questions about how something is spelled in Dutch. Just put them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer you. But for now, let's do some topics that are related to or the weather or the time of year. Kruidnoten. It is December, but these things are in the Dutch supermarkets from about August, September, which is actually too early. But kruidnoten, or pepernoten as they are also called, are a Dutch delicacy that is actually only eaten in December. It is one of the treats that Sinterklaas is giving you. Just a heads up, I really want to talk about Sinterklaas, but I'm not going to do this because I do not want my channel to be a platform for hatred, for talking and fighting actually about the helpers of Sinterklaas. Please respect my decision about this. When I was a kid, it was my favorite holiday, and it still actually is, but because of all the controversies around the helpers of Sinterklaas, Piet, I don't want to talk about it. But I will talk about the things that are surrounding the celebration. But please do not use my channel as a platform for discussions about this person. If I see you starting a discussion, starting a fight about this discussion, your comment will be deleted. If you do not stop, you will be banned from my channel. I'm extremely serious about this because I love the celebration so much, and it is my culture. It is something so Dutch that I don't want anyone, not even another Dutch person, to touch this. Okay? Thank you. Kruidnoten, if you translate it directly, it will be spice nuts, but they are very hard, round-shaped confectionaries. So they're cookies, and they are made with speculaaskruiden. I do not know what consists of speculaaskruiden. Probably a lot of herbs and spices, but they are also called pepernoten, but they don't taste like pepper, like pepper nuts. They are eaten during Sinterklaas. It's one of the confectioneries that are thrown around when Sinterklaas is coming into town, Sinterklaas is in the country, and Dutch people love this a lot. So when I was younger, they would throw these on the ground in handfuls, like big handfuls. And we were allowed to pick them up from the floor and eat them like right then and there. Sometimes even earlier, so when I was like really young, they would throw them in the streets because kruidnoten are meant to be thrown. And as you might think, or might gather, it's not done anymore. Kruidnoten are still eaten, they are still being given by the helpers of Sinterklaas, by Piet, but they are put in the hand, so you give a hand of kruidnoten to a child or to any adult who wants them, basically, and then they eat them. There are households when they are celebrating Sinterklaas at December 5th where Piet will throw them inside of the house, but then, you know, everything is very much cleaned and the children can eat off the floor. But why would you throw around these cookies? why would you do that in the first place? It has everything to do with Saint Nicholas, or Saint Nicholas, who lived in the now current day Turkey, and the story surrounding how he became a holy man. Because one of the stories about Saint Nicholas that is actually sort of used in the current celebration today is that Saint Nicholas, was a holy man who wanted to provide a poor man with the bridal treasures for his daughters. And because he didn't want to become known for throwing around gold coins, he threw the coins through the window and sometimes even through the chimney. And you might recognize that thing. Another reason kruidnoten are thrown about is probably because it also has to do with fertility, besides the generosity aspect. Kruidnoten or pepernoten are one of the most well-known treats that are eaten during Sinterklaas. Another thing that we often eat during Sinterklaas is the chocoladeletter, the chocolate letter. Basically, chocolate in the form of the first letter of your name. If they don't have the first letter of your name because things will sell out, you usually get like an S or a P, the S of Sinterklaas and the P of Piet. Kruidnoten, pepernoten are extremely famous and extremely well liked here in the Netherlands. They are so well liked that people have been experimenting with them in terms of flavor, recipes, etc. And around September, October, there will be pop-up stores that will exclusively sell kruidnoten and pepernoten. But pepernoten are a bit different. They are a bit more of a chewy kind, and they are actually made with anise. They taste a bit different. Kruidnoten are sold almost everywhere. In every supermarket, every grocery store, every store that even sells food, you will find kruidnoten in massive amounts. And in different colors, in different sizes. And they are all like basically this one, sometimes covered with chocolate, sometimes covered with powder, sometimes they even contain alcohol. Just try them, they're really delicious. These are called kruidnoten. They are often confused with pepernoten. And pepernoten are just a bit different. They are made with anise, like I said before, and they are a bit more chewy. It appears that pepernoten are an earlier concept than kruidnoten. So it could be that pepernoten were made with something extra from gingerbread, and gingerbread already existed in 1615. So it could be something from there that the Bakers Guild were making these pepernoten. But why it's called pepernoten is not really well known. Peper is the Dutch word for pepper, but there's hardly any pepper in them. You don't taste pepper at all. It could be that the recipe as it started contained pepper and it later on got removed from it because of course pepper is really expensive, or it was expensive back in the days. But another reason could be that pepper was just a collective noun for all kinds of spices that were used during that time. Especially in the 17th century, spices were not very well known in the Netherlands. We were starting up the spice trade, but you know, everything that was spicy was considered a very expensive thing. And yeah, you didn't have many things of them. So everything that was spicy had pepper in them. So that's why probably we called a pepernoten. So I am filming this in the weekend of Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas is December 5th. We also celebrate Christmas, but Sinterklaas has his own holiday. And here in the Netherlands we celebrate it on December 5th. In Belgium you usually celebrate it on December the 6th. But we celebrate it this year on a Sunday on December 5th, where we get presents and poems and just have a nice get together and do all things that are related to Sinterklaas. So I'm off to eating a lot of pepernoten, or correct term kruidnoten, and be together with family and friends. See you next time.